Welcome to Factorio Space Exploration. My name is Nila. So this is the recap of day 30 of our streaming endeavors. So this day it was actually a really productive day. The majority of actually happened, well, basically I think it was about 50-50 between what happens on Novus and what happened on in orbit. We are starting to enable this where you can see robots on the map. I think it's quite a neat little feature. Whoop, one exploded. It happens. So the first thing we had to do was we had our to-do list over here. We are going to look at all of it from the map because I don't think there's any point in us traveling around looking at it. We can look at it from the map view. Sulfur to space, what we did was we went to this one, sulfur, simply just copy paste another one, getting it in. And what we then did, we have now 3 conditions and basically, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this. This is so we can click on things. Let's see here. All right, so let me walk through what this one means. Now I have set up this one that says it must have 3 yellow lights before it can go green, and the green is the condition for this one, green signal and fuel full. So when it has 3 greens, and we had an issue in the previous session where if I lost power to, hold on. Let's go through conditions. One of them is this condition. This compares the amount of sulfur in the rocket with the A, which is our threshold. So I set this to 19,800, and the content here is 19,808. So this is true because there's more sulfur than the threshold. Happy, and we'll send it. The second one is taking the input. You can see the input to the right hand side. I'm recapping this because it's kind of advanced, and if you didn't catch it on stream, this is a good opportunity to catch up on. This one is is looking at the green wire. The green wire goes from here and gets the signal from the space base, what is in this logistics network. This one says if the logistics network in orbit is less than 2000, then send another rocket. So those both have to be true. What happened was that if I lost power on Novus, this one lost power and it stopped receiving signals. That meant this one would effectively be 0 and it would launch a rocket. If there's only a full rocket, full of fuel, has enough materials in it, and we didn't receive any signal from orbit, then it would launch. Oops, we did have that a few times. It was impractical. So what I did to compensate for it, we go to Novus Orbit and look at this one. I added this little icon here, just whatever, energy signal. It's part of the AAI signal category. So I'm putting this in, adding it. This is being transmitted back to Novus. And that means I have to receive this one. As long as this one is here, that means there is a clear signal from, there's power in orbit, power on Novus, and therefore it is allowed. That means as soon as the power disconnects, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. If I disconnect this connection, then this one turns green, but the other one turns off, and it will not accidentally launch a rocket. There, and it happens simultaneously, so no signal will be transmitted, and it works. So that has been added to all of them. They are now all running on automatic mode, launching as needed when the orbital base needs resupply. In the meantime, the ground base here is getting as busy as it can. And what else did we do on this surface? Oh yeah, I did a few other things like oh yeah, one of the big issues, and we can look at it like this, is pollution was really reaching quite a bit out here, and I looked at the pollution values. Now of course this has been fixed, but the pollution value here from all the electric mining zones was 6.1 K per minute, which was just blasting out there, and tons and tons of biters were absorbing it. So I did 2 things. I did walk around to every single one of these miners like this, put a single productivity mine in, and that makes all the difference. It actually just honestly completely blew my mind how effective that is. Efficient? Efficient. Yeah, efficient. We have a mining location here. So let's use this as an example. If I have one, then it produces 10 per minute. If I put a single one in, then first of all, it reduces the energy consumption to 20%. minus 100, but it goes minimum to 20% and takes 20% pollution off. So the first thing is it takes only 1/3 the energy, and that apparently, I did not know that, also cuts off 80% of the pollution. Then on top of that, so it goes from 10 to 2, and then on top of that it takes 20% out, so it goes from 2 to 1.6, and that means if we put 2 more in, it only goes to 0.8. I mean, it's still half of it, but it seems like a lot of additional power here, additional effectivity module. So that's what we done. We went around every single one of these, put a nice fancy, look at this up here, just massive amount of efficiency modules, and they are working. They are doing exactly as they should be, and that has cut our pollution from, first of all, it's cut down our energy consumption. That really doesn't think it really matters, but the pollution has really cut down here, so that this one is no longer the biggest one. Now it's actually assembly machines. They are a bit more difficult because they always have modules in it generally, and it's the one with modules that take up the most. So you can see here there's only a bit here. The other thing I did was actually, and I did some of that after the session, was run around with my train, well, drive around and clear out some of the biters here in the surroundings, so that at least there weren't so many inside the pollution cloud. But you can see here the pollution cloud is hungry and is always growing, so we need to take out these spaces again. And also here it's really encroaching. So unfortunately we can't get any more range because that's locked behind material science, which is way far away. What we can do is we can push out further out and then get our perimeter out. We have right now we have enough concrete, so I think that might be an option going down here. We also managed to find a next uranium deposit, which is going to be coming in very handy because we are down to 663,000 and it's disappearing. So that's what we did on the base here. Also did a few other things, such as improve the red circuits with modules, so it just gives a bit more productivity, and this is also what bumps up the power. Each of these now use 1.5 megawatts of power. Ouch. That is what it is. And then let's look at Novice, because a lot of things happened there as well. And this, what we did now, we now have all 14 items coming in vast quantities, so we should be really good to go for all of these. And yeah, but they're just waiting. Stuff is going on, and now we built out this mall here. Nope, sorry, the hub, the space hub. It needs some clearing out. For example, we need a more consistent way of doing solar energy, all that stuff. We need that, but right now we're just testing some things. So what I started to do was doing through this one. We wanted to do the thermofluid. So we started simply doing it, and I decided to use substations, even though the substations actually do require some concrete, not a lot, but I felt that it was needed to do this because then we could get a nice pattern here. I just couldn't get a decent pattern without substations. It was just really cluttered with the medium power poles everywhere. So we did this, and this is actually putting it into some small blocks here, and I like that. It's kind of easy to see what's going on. That means that if we, for example, see one of them running out, we can just take this little unit and multiply it. I'm not sure this is how it's going to be in the future, but right now I like it. A lot of things, a lot of the liquids can be put in barrels, and as we use barrels, it's much easier to transport them around. That's why everything going in and out here, barrels. The only exception is actually for the cooling. So the medium cooling. So we got the 25 degree cooling liquid coming in, and that can go into here and become some, it goes from thermofluid to cool thermofluid to cold thermofluid. So we get the cold thermofluid of -100, and the other part warms up. That's perfectly fine. Now this neither of those, this one or this one, can be barreled, which is fair enough, I think. And then we go into these stupidly expensive pipes and drag it all the way over here. I wanted to get one thing done properly, and that's this one. This is the first quantum, like misspelling, phenomenon data This is the first part of our energy science pack. Energy catalog. Why is it energy catalog 2? Energy catalog 1. Ah, okay. I know what the other one's for. That's interesting. Oh, never mind. That's something I can do. I'm building this one. So it needs a catalog, and then we have these things, ion streams, blank data cards, we crafted that. Uranium, we don't have that, but we will probably just throw a bit in orbit. It's not very much we need it, but just maybe like 10,000 or something, it should be good. See, each one of these only uses 1/10 of a uranium, so if I put 10,000 up here in orbit, then I have for 100,000 crafts. That should last a while. Polarization data, that's some multispectral mirror. We're going to have to figure out how that's done. But this one, blank data card and cold thermal fluid, we got those things. So that's the first thing we did. And that one is also some ion stream. But when we really look at it, next time if we build the ion stream and the multispectral mirror, get some uranium, we can actually build all of these things. And then we can start doing energy catalog. Energy catalog is then going in here and becoming some I have no idea what it's called, energy insight, which then can go in 18 of those, or 36 into 2. And once that's done, then it can be combined into a single one of these. So a bit more insights. That means it's 18 for the top one and 19. So you need 19 of these for each science pack. That's pretty crazy. But I'm starting to just, in the beginning, I'm just going to take a bit, and then we can see what it is we actually can do here. Most of these things we unlock immediately, like 10. All right, need 10. Unfortunately, also that one. But basically, we can look at it. Okay, particle collider again, 10. So it's not like we need a million of those. This is also interesting. And then we can go here, multispectral mirror. That might be something we're going to do a lot of. And 400 kilowatts. Yeah, that's decent. Somewhere up here. Where's my whatever. So this is what we're working towards, and I think we might be able to get it next time. Not just in very small quantities, so we can start tapping the ones that only require the energy catalog or the energy. And then we can get some new ones where we can figure out how that works. Don't know what that means. We'll figure it out. It's just going to be interesting. So working our way here, and once we have that, we can start working towards the next one. I don't know if I'm going to be scaling up. No, I think I'll build a tiny bit of every science. Well, at least the 4 science we need for the spaceship. Energy, astronomics, energy, and material. If I build those 3 for the spaceship, then we can move on. Of course, we need quite a lot. And that's basically how we did it. We've done now a few different things here. Cosmic water, cleanup of the contaminated cosmic water, biosludge, just some few things to keep it clean. So far it works really, really well, to be honest. And this is easily scalable. Of course, not like in a very big range, because this is a waste of material. But I mean, I can just plop down more of these and figure out how things work, and we can have sort of patterns evolve. And I'll do that instead of starting theory crafting a lot of things, because there will be some things that I just can't see until we've built it the wrong way. So let's build it the wrong way and then learn from it. And that's going to be in the next episode. There. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying. I hope you will be checking back. I have a few more episodes, and I will also say, if you're watching this on Saturday, well, if you're watching in the future, then it's not Saturday, but this Saturday I will be playing an extended evening of Factorio space exploration, just to really get on with the space base. This is where we really unlock a lot of the space stuff. So that's going to be exciting. Nothing more from me. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you are enjoying this series as much as I am, and that you'll be checking in on the stream, or maybe following the VODs or the recaps. If you want to watch the VODs, then they are on my secondary channel. There's a link in the description below. And if you find yourself on my secondary channel, I would very much appreciate a subscription there, so I can just build up that visibility on that little corner of YouTube. Thank you very much, and as always, stay effective.